When I say mechanization, it means the whole construction methodology. It could be even going forward. I'll not be surprised that we have how fast. I'm not going to put any time to it that we are going to get into steel structures. You get me? We are moving into steel because the world has moved into it. I mean, the first world works on steel structures mainly because of the exorbitant cost of manpower. So I'm sure we will have precast, these kind of things, and then a lot of what do you call that, mechanization is the answer going forward. When you're talking about the second cities, the problem is what can you bring out? What is the appetite of the people? The research, the market study is not really giving good results because people have burned their, developers have gone there. The DLF, was the first probably to go to most of the cities. They're still there and they're still doing work, but it's been quite slow in their, for the way they do in Delhi, Gurgaon, or such places. So we got to understand that the dynamics of cities vary, and the tier 3 cities strategy again has to be different for their residential, commercial, because when it comes to commercial, as long as there is a demand in the main cities and the prices are reasonable, people are not going to go to the secondary cities unless, like you rightly said, the government is going to create a special situation with some new incentives, not only for companies, for developers. Then you will find a big flow, definitely. But today you are not having those kind of attractions. I think the first step is for them to give a lot of tax SOPs for these kind of places to developers. Incentives when it comes to creating something like when the SEZ came, the Special Economic Zone came, what you found is that they had given you a rebate on all the taxes. They've got to give, for those who go to such places, a total tax holiday for developers. Two is you've got to be able to give varying loan interest rates for the buyers. You can't expect a person who's working in Arunachal Pradesh who draws a salary of maybe an engineer draws a salary of maybe 15,000. I don't know, 15 or 20,000. I really don't know in the second cities what they earn. Maybe 15, 20,000 versus a person who is in the city would be same person would be earning 50,000. So a husband and wife who's working might be 30, 40,000 together. What can they afford? Whereas the other one in the city, the same qualification, earns 100,000. So you can imagine the difference of his capacity to pay back. His cost of living is high, I agree, but to give a variable interest rates, better schemes for housing, and that will start moving people. If you are going to say that if you are going to own a home in this city, if you are going to stay here, you're creating work, so you are getting more potential from that place. You give the tax rebates, you give tax holidays for the developer, you give drastically the price down. If you look at the loading of prices, ultimately it takes a big toll, not just on the developer. It then is passed on to whom? Is passed on to the buyer, and that guy is then hit with a interest rate which hits the roof. It's the same whether it's 13% for me who is in the city to 13% to the poor guy who's in that second city or third city. So what do you call that, whichever city he is in, like you said, Arunachal Pradesh or something. So I think we've got to see how we can do something like that. I don't have much ideas, but I think what I've been thinking of, one option is to have varying these infrastructures for these kind of programs. Even within the city, if a developer is willing to go out of the city and build a township with total infrastructure, with total clean concept, and he's willing to give the monitoring to the agencies that are third-party agencies, even those should be given preferences like this with some government SOPs, so that it's encouraging for development and encouraging to move out of the city. People are just growing the cities than trying to decongest the cities. But the infrastructure is remaining the same. Our infrastructure is not changing.